Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about something that has come up recently into my YouTube recommendation feed, and it's Capcom apparently is really impressed with the Switch 2. And I was really confused by that because I've seen nothing of the sorts anywhere. And then I started Googling. Capcom impressed by the Switch 2, and this came up. I have 3 articles here. These were the top 3 articles that Google showed me. The first of which is from GoNintendo.com. The second one is from Nintendo Everything. And the third one is Nintendo Connect.de. It's a German page. And all of them have basically the same thing in common. They don't really talk about the article itself, the interview itself. They just take an extract from it and twist their own narrative out of it. If I had a loom, I could make myself a poncho out of it, because it's just so much threading they had to do. And GoNintendo.com also doesn't provide a link to, well, the original article, which you will find in my description box below. I'm also going to, of course, link you everything, as always, in the description box down below. So we're not going to look into the articles of those 3 pages. The only thing I'm going to say here, Nintendo Everything and Nintendo Connect.de are the ones that are, well, linking to the interview. But the very important thing here is, when you click on the interview, I'm just going to use the Nintendo Connect one. Again, you can have the same one here. Was it this one? Let me just check. Set the following. Yes, it is in Japanese, but your browser will automatically, I hope, automatically translate it to English. So let's look at the interview. It's very important. First of all, September 1st. This has been the release of this article here. Capcom has maintained strong performance for over a decade, even in the midst of a rapidly changing gaming industry. In February 2025, the company released its long-awaited new title Monster Hunter Wilds. Its unprecedented start saw it sell 10 million copies worldwide within a month of release, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes the company's biggest hit, not just in the series. In the esports field, Capcom successfully held a tournament at the Ryogoku Kokugikan in March 2025, and it's beginning to see signs of becoming a viable independent business. Was this Street Fighter? I think this was Street Fighter 6. I'm not sure anymore if that was in March. Nikkei Gaming editor-in-chief Hirano Aya spoke with Capcom president Haruhiro Tsuchimoto about the current and future of Capcom, which continues to achieve its goals, and the challenges facing the game industry. The interview was conducted in late May 2025. This has been before the Switch 2 has been released. So again, this is an article by Nikkei Gaming. So this is their own article, and again, none of the Nintendo websites, the Nintendo glazing websites, the PR machine, the propagandist, the glazers, there is no mentioning of that this interview was being held in May. There is nothing to it. So this feels very disingenuous of all of the 3 pages. But yeah, we're gonna go through this together, because you will see that the majority of this interview is about Capcom and Monster Hunter. What a big surprise! So, why Monster Hunter Wilds prioritized initial action? First, let's talk about your business performance for the fiscal year ending March 2025. Your financial statements are filled with phrases that indicate good performance, such as 12th consecutive period of operating profit growth, 10th consecutive period of operating profit growth of 10% or more, and record heights for both consolidated sales and operating profit. In the volatile gaming industry, you have maintained stable high growth. Looking back on the past year, how do you view your company's business? Oh, and before I go on, we're also going to talk about things that we know right now. So, President Haruhiro Tsushimoto, hereinafter referred as Tsushimoto, one of the topics is that we were able to release a completely new game in the series Monster Hunter Wilds as planned in February 2024. This time, we implemented measures aimed at the goal of selling 10 million units within 1 month of release, and we were able to achieve that. This is the first time we've achieved such a result so early, so I think it's been a valuable experience for Capcom that will help us in the future. Oh god, I hope not. Please. Honestly, selling 10 million units in 1 month is no easy feat. We'll be able to use this experience to boost initial sales numbers for upcoming titles as well. I'm scared. Ah, shit. The painkillers are good, but they're not really helping right now. Was boosting initial sales a major theme for Capcom? Oh, and if this is your first video, I'm sorry for the confusion, but I was in the hospital because I had an accident and I have trouble breathing and so on. Yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you. But laughing is painful. Capcom's growth has been supported by the penetration, expansion, and strengthening of our digital strategy within the company. Digital sales allow us to sell our follow-up titles released in the previous fiscal year or earlier, worldwide for a long period of time, and also allow us to respond flexibly to our pricing strategies. Furthermore, it is precisely because they have a large number of popular high-quality series that they have been able to continue growing to this extent. Repeat titles released many years ago still sell in the millions of units per year, so the effect is immeasurable. There is no doubt that this business model is the foundation of Capcom's strong performance, but the following themes are essential to continued growth. One of them is how to boost initial sales. Looking at the trends of follow-up titles, we knew that if initial sales were good, subsequent sales would naturally continue to be strong. Well, we have proof otherwise right now with Monster Hunter Wilds. Therefore, by improving initial numbers, total sales over several years would also increase if the game runs stable. 10 million units sold in 1 month was an unknown number for Capcom, but it was a goal from the beginning. There are titles in our industry that have achieved similar numbers. Capcom may not have been very conscious of initial sales until now, but since the release of Dragon's Dogma 2 in March 2024, we've been making efforts to improve initial sales. I believe that these efforts have led to this success. So this is the point where I'm wondering, how are they aiming to do this? Of course, it's a propaganda machine and everything else, blah blah blah, yada yada. But they will not achieve this in the next year, not in the next 2 years, especially not for any other Monster Hunter game. This might, that's a big thing right now, with Resident Evil 9. If the game is impeccable, they will maybe do this with Onimusha. Well, Onimusha probably not so much. It's still a very niche game, which I'm currently retracing back again. I just installed Onimusha 1 again. So, how to deal with the high cost of hardware? This is where we slowly get into the PlayStation 5 and Switch 2 discussion here. First of all, we have a track record of having sold a total of 28.5 million copies of Monster Hunter World. We need to promote Monster Hunter Wilds in a way that effectively appeals to that user base. So yeah, make a better patch. One of the key points in this case is price. Monster Hunter World, which has been on the market for about 7 years, is currently selling for $9.90 in comparison, because at the point of the review, the game was on discount. Monster Hunter Wilds is priced at $70 and or your regional equivalent. How many users will buy at this price range? At this point, not so many. So the problem here is that Capcom is just keeping it at that price point. Obviously, not many people have bought it. I was one of the idiots that did. Furthermore, since the main platform is the PlayStation 5, we had to take that into account to determine whether we could achieve an initial sales figure of 10 million units. In that regard, we used the data we had accumulated up to that point to develop marketing that would reach the target user demographic. So, you've achieved initial sales of 10 million units, you need to build on that. The interviewer this is not a good question base, basically. But I will mark that to the translation here, because it's just a regular browser translation. That's correct. However, we also found that the PS5 barrier is unexpectedly large. The console costs about 80,000 yen in Japanese yen. Makes sense. When you factor in the cost of software and monthly subscriptions, it comes to about 100,000 yen at the time of purchase. This is not an amount that can be easily reached, especially for younger generations. This situation is not limited to Japan, but is similar overseas as well. This is a very, very political way to say people are poor, they have no money, the economy is at fault. The rich get richer. Our next challenge is to overcome these obstacles and get Monster Hunter Wilds to as many people as possible. Sales will begin in the future, so we are currently formulating a strategy to take advantage of these opportunities to boost sales throughout the year. So again, I'm repeating myself, just make a better patch. The Nintendo Switch 2 was released in June 2025 at the price of 50,000 yen, tax included, and the response was better than we had expected. While prices vary by country, this reaffirmed the high level of cost consciousness among ordinary consumers. Again, a very political way to say that not many people have money to spend on such, well, obsolete hardware in case of the Switch 2. Because, again, it is hardware on par with the base PS4. And we are already talking about the leaks of the PlayStation 6. This hardware is old. So again, if count with me, January, February, March, April, May. How is this a quote from Tsushimoto? Can't be, because June comes after May. This has to be an extract from another interview, but Nikkei Gaming should have basically updated this. They had 3 days time for that, because this doesn't make sense. But the thing here is, yes, the Switch 2 was the best-selling console. Yes, but the hype went down. Let me just show you the Famitsu thingies. This is, wait, which time frame was this? This is basically last week. And sales numbers were 50,000 for the Switch 2. That's okay, that's nice. The week before, let me go up here again, from the 18th till the 24th, it was 35,000. Not that much. It's less than last week. Might have been also because Bonanza released that week, and now we see people getting into it. Might be, or Nintendo just held back stock. That could also be a thing. Then let us go back a little bit more. You might have already seen the 150K thing, but this is 2 weeks of sales. So again, we are 3 to 4 weeks ago. Let's just say, cut this in half, and we are at 80,000 sales per week. A little bit higher. Of course, you see the trend goes down. Maybe I should have done it the other way around, because this is now 5 weeks ago. And you can see hardware sales is 62,000. So yes, it goes up and down a little bit, but the trend is on a downward spiral, because people are basically, well, the glasses come off, the glasses of love, basically, and they already see the brickening, the bad game key cards. Don't let me get started on those again. And let's just look at this one. This is the 6-month Nintendo stock thingy here. It started at, oh wow, 70 euros. Nothing else, no cents. 70 on March the 4th. Then the release of the Switch 2 was 71.90 euros. Okay. It went up to mid-August to basically 85 euros. Let me just go back to 1 month here. And now it's on a downward spiral. Again, this might change with the Nintendo Direct, but people are now getting more and more into the knowledge sphere of, again, the brickening, game key cards, the Nintendo Switch Online issues, like the GameCube games that run like ass, especially Soul Calibur. Maybe they have fixed it by now, but I really don't know. Then the display. Don't let me get started on the display. At first it was like, oh, it's so good. It's HDR and 120 frames. But as of this point right now, there is basically just the payable demo that can output 120 frames. And this is because there is only a ball jumping around, and it's bullshit. It's basically just that. The HDR is basically non-existent. The response time of the pixels is ass. And there is a lot of issues with the Switch 2. Again, especially because the hardware is on par with the PS4. And again, we are already talking about the leaks for the PS6. PlayStation 6 is on the way. What do you think is going to happen with the Switch 2? We will not see a Monster Hunter Wilds on there. Capcom never said, not in this interview, that they regret to not jumping up on the hype train on the Switch 2. They might not have been able to, they might not have been able to get their hands on a dev kit, because Nintendo was really stingy with those for whatever reason. Because it doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, because they want their first party games to be the best of all. But they're not. They're really not anymore. The Nintendo seal of quality is worth shit at this point. And I really hate to say that. Again, I was a Nintendo kid. I had almost every Nintendo console. My doormat is the Hyrule Shield. I have every Legend of Zelda amiibo. I have every Legend of Zelda game in physical. And oh man, I really hate this. Again, there was nothing in this interview that said Capcom is regretting that they haven't jumped on the hype bandwagon. And at this point, I really don't think they will basically do much. Yes, we will get the Monster Hunter offshoot, what was it? Monster Hunter Trails? Whatever, Monster Hunter Story 3 or whatever it was, which looks nice, to be honest. It looks really good. Uh, but other than that, I don't think that Resident Evil Requiem will run on it. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, will not run on it. Pragmata will not run on it. And if they do, they will look like on an old CRT TV, just to run on 30 frames. Elden Ring, I initially said, yeah, the devs are also at fault that the game runs like ass with 15 frames per second. But at this point, I think it's Nintendo's fault because this is just an assumption. I haven't read anything, I haven't seen anything. I'm just assuming here. I'm operating on an assumption that From Software did not get a dev kit as well. And so they were not able to optimize the game for the Switch 2. Again, might be, might not be. We will have to see in the future. If we get any confirmation on it whatsoever, you know me, I will update you on this. Just like I did with the Final Fantasy XIV mod drama, where I also did an update on it. Because if I see something, or if I'm getting a hint or a link, or not link, you can't link something in the comment section, but when you tell me, hey, there has been an update, please look into this, and if it's something big or if it's worthwhile, I will update you. But if it's just something small like a typo or anything, not so much. But again, I will update you on all of this if there's something going to happen. But yeah, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. And by that, oh my god, painkillers. I can't focus right now. I'm sorry. Why should you do all the things that make the dings? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more video game news every day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe, and if you want you can share this video with your friends. Otherwise, have a great day my friend, stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.